In July 2023, a single photo of a McDonald's menu at a Connecticut rest stop went viral. The price for a single Big Mac combo meal reached a staggering $17.59. Within days, that image went viral across social media, transforming a quick fast food run into a national symbol of corporate greed. The cultural contract was officially broken. McDonald's was no longer cheap. By July 2024, the financial hammer dropped. McDonald's reported its first global sales decline in 13 years, as low-income consumers completely abandoned the golden arches. But this isn't just a story about modern inflation. It's the story of a deep, systemic corporate amnesia inside a $190 billion empire. For 3 decades, McDonald's has been trapped in the exact same self-sabotaging loop, which causes a painful question. What is the hidden corporate mechanism that forces the world's most successful fast food chain to keep making the exact same mistake? In 1948, in San Bernardino, California, 2 brothers named Dick and Mac McDonald did something radical. They shut down their highly profitable drive-in barbecue restaurant. Their business model was plagued by the exact same issues facing every restaurant at the time: long wait times, complicated menus, and soaring overhead costs. They decided to rewrite the rules from scratch. They engineered what they called the Speedee service system. The brothers stripped their diverse 25-item menu down to just 9 core options: hamburgers, cheeseburgers, 3 soft drinks, milk, coffee, potato chips, and pie. By narrowing their focus down to the absolute essentials, they turned food preparation into something the world had never seen: a high-velocity mechanical assembly line. The strategy was simple: quality over complexity and velocity over variety. And the absolute baseline of this system was the price. A McDonald's hamburger cost exactly 15 cents. It was fast, it was predictable, and it was undeniably cheap. When a salesman named Ray Kroc discovered the restaurant in 1954, he didn't just see a successful local business, he saw a revolutionary operational clockwork. Kroc became the brothers' national franchise agent and eventually purchased the entire company in 1961 for $2.7 million. He didn't scale a culinary masterpiece, he scaled a hyper-efficient system. For the next 4 decades, McDonald's completely dominated the global fast food landscape. They expanded into tens of thousands of locations across the globe, but the foundational promise remained completely untouched: absolute operational consistency at a price point that working-class families could always afford. By the late 1990s, the golden arches were seemingly untouchable. McDonald's controlled the global market, and dominance bred a dangerous level of corporate complacency. Leadership shifted their primary focus away from operational discipline and toward aggressive footprint expansion. They wanted to capture every single demographic, all at once. And that is exactly when the empire forgot the very promise that built it. By trying to be everything to everyone, they set the stage for their first catastrophic breakdown. Entering the early 2000s, McDonald's faced a problem every mature empire dreads. Wall Street demanded relentless quarterly growth, but the domestic market was reaching total saturation. Leadership panicked. They abandoned the legendary Speedee blueprint and chased broader demographics by introducing complex, time-consuming menu items. They rolled out premium salads, complex chicken selections, and a massive over-engineered burger called the Big Extra. This resulted in absolute operational paralysis. McDonald's kitchens simply weren't built for customized gourmet prep. Drive-through lines ground to a halt, order accuracy plummeted, and customer satisfaction ratings hit the lowest level in the history of the fast food industry. By the end of 2002, the financial hammer dropped. McDonald's reported a staggering Q4 net loss of $343.8 million. For the first time in 48 years since going public, the world's premier money printing machine was drowning in red ink. The stock cratered, erasing over 60% of the company's total value. The board executed an executive purge. The incoming leadership team launched a radical emergency turnaround strategy called the Plan to Win. For the first time in decades, McDonald's sharply slowed its expansion and redirected capital toward fixing the restaurants it already had. Faster service, better accuracy, and stronger store-level execution became the new priorities. Meanwhile, the dollar menu, launched just before the turnaround began, evolved into one of the company's most powerful weapons for rebuilding traffic and restoring its value image. Simplicity and absolute affordability saved the empire from the brink. The lesson seemed clear: never, under any circumstances, sacrifice operational velocity for premium margin. The data proved it worked, and for a decade the warning stuck. Until a new generation of executives arrived, convinced they were smarter than the system. By 2014, the fast food landscape had shifted beneath McDonald's feet. Fast casual competitors like Chipotle and Panera Bread were exploding, capturing younger consumers with fresh ingredients. To combat this, a new generation of executives, led by CEO Don Thompson, made a fatal strategic error. They decided to change their identity. Thompson, an engineer by training who rose through the corporate ranks, operated with a corporate, data-driven mindset that was deeply obsessed with a new metrics obsession, winning over the millennial demographic. Along with his core marketing team, Thompson's core philosophy was that McDonald's had to evolve past its fast food roots or risk becoming a relic of the past. Their core logic for this upgrade seemed bulletproof on paper. They looked at the exploding success of premium chains and realized that younger consumers were willingly paying double for customizable, high-quality meals. The executive team believed that if they simply upgraded the ingredients, customers would naturally view McDonald's as a modern, premium eatery. Initially, the idea sounded highly effective. Early market tests in California showed that when people saw fresh avocado, high-end cheeses, and premium brioche buns arranged on digital screens, it created a massive psychological lift. It made the brand feel contemporary, tech-forward, and sophisticated, convincing the board that consumers were ready for a high-tech, customized dining experience. With growing confidence, McDonald's moved to rapidly expand Create Your Taste, planning to install the system in 2,000 U.S. restaurants. Customers used touchscreen kiosks to build higher-priced burgers from roughly 25 ingredients, including guacamole, grilled mushrooms, premium sauces, specialty cheeses, and artisan rolls. Participating franchisees faced investments of around $125,000 per restaurant. The ambition was clear: make McDonald's feel less like traditional fast food and more like a modern, customizable burger destination. It was a total economic mismatch. McDonald's was asking crew members earning minimum wage to operate like gourmet chefs, while forcing customers to wait up to 7 minutes for a single order. Worse, they expected people to pay casual dining prices at a plastic table. They completely abandoned their core mode: speed, simplicity, and low costs. Customers did not reject it overnight. The business model did. McDonald's still posted a brutal 15% drop in annual profit, while franchisees were being asked to spend more than $100,000 per store on a system that slowed service and could not serve the drive-thru. Create Your Taste promised premium economics. Operators saw an expensive machine fighting directly against the way McDonald's made money. The board had run out of patience. Don Thompson was pushed aside, and Steve Easterbrook took control. He is a British executive known for his aggressive, fast-paced turnaround corporate style. Unlike his predecessor, Easterbrook didn't care about corporate fluff. He was an operational pragmatist who hated institutional inertia. His core philosophy was simple: stop trying to be a fancy cafe, embrace the fast food identity, and move with radical urgency. To save the company, Easterbrook's core idea was to exploit an asset McDonald's already dominated but kept locked away: breakfast. For decades, customers had begged for breakfast items past 10:30 a.m., but previous management always rejected it, claiming the kitchen operations couldn't handle cooking eggs and beef patties at the exact same time. Easterbrook dismantled that excuse. His core logic was that by utilizing existing kitchen equipment during afternoon hours, they could instantly drive massive customer traffic without adding expensive new ingredients. Initially, the strategy proved incredibly effective. When all-day breakfast officially rolled out across the United States in October 2015, the excitement was immediate. It was a massive cultural hit because it gave consumers exactly what they wanted, when they wanted it, at a highly accessible price point. Franchisees saw an instant surge in afternoon visitors who added McMuffins and hash browns to their regular lunch orders. The brilliant move instantly reversed years of declining sales, sending U.S. same-store sales surging by over 5% in a matter of months, and proving that real growth came from maximizing the core brand, not chasing gourmet fantasies. Once again, a swift return to simplicity, accessibility, and core value saved the brand from a structural downward spiral. It was the second time the loop had played out perfectly. McDonald's overcomplicates, crashes, and runs back to value. But as the company entered the 2020s, corporate headquarters discovered a brand new way to squeeze margins. And this time, they wouldn't just slow down the kitchens, they would break their ultimate consumer promise. McDonald's corporate headquarters quietly executed a radical financial strategy that would completely restructure the brand. It was called refranchising. They aggressively sold off company-owned restaurants to independent operators, pushing their global franchised ratio to an unprecedented 95%. The core logic behind this aggressive move was simple: transition McDonald's into a hyper-profitable, asset-light business model. The executive team realized that running company-owned restaurants was a low-margin, high-risk headache. Corporate stores only retained about 16% of their revenue as profit because they had to pay for food ingredients, paper cups, and hourly crew wages. On the flip side, franchised locations were a goldmine, yielding an astronomical 81.7% profit margin for corporate, because the independent operators absorbed all the everyday costs while headquarters simply collected pure royalty fees and marked up rent. Their core philosophy was to optimize the corporate balance sheet to satisfy relentless Wall Street pressure. By offloading thousands of locations, management could slash corporate general and administrative expenses, drastically reduce capital expenditures, and free up billions in cash. On Wall Street paper, it was sheer genius. By offloading thousands of locations, corporate successfully insulated itself from volatile frontline operating expenses. Issues like rising minimum wages, local supply chain shocks, and kiosk maintenance were no longer corporate's problem. Instead, headquarters simply sat back and collected completely stable royalty fees and rent payments based strictly on top-line revenue. But mathematics doesn't lie. To survive under these compounding corporate royalties and soaring post-pandemic overhead, franchise operators were left with only one viable weapon to defend their shrinking net margins. They had to aggressively jack up menu prices. At the exact same time, corporate leaned heavy into technology. They deployed mobile app algorithms and dynamic digital menu boards explicitly designed to maximize average check sizes. They fundamentally miscalculated, assuming the modern consumer was hopelessly locked into the ecosystem and would blindly absorb every single price hike. They were dead wrong. By early 2024, the lowest income demographic, the literal economic foundation of the entire empire, finally hit their absolute breaking point. The structural damage couldn't be hidden anymore. In July 2024, corporate was forced to announce a devastating financial hit, with second quarter net income plummeting by nearly $300 million to just $2.02 billion. The hyperinflation strategy had completely broken the consumer, and right on cue, the exact same panic loop reset. Desperate to stop the bleeding and recapture lost customer traffic, corporate rushed out the temporary $5 meal deal across the United States, which they later scrambled to extend into a permanent, multi-tiered value platform. They were forced to cannibalize their own high-margin strategy because they forgot a fundamental truth about their own business. The truth is, it's incredibly hard to fix a problem when the short-term profits look so good on paper. This multi-billion-dollar amnesia leaves us with three brutal business lessons. First, never destroy your core moat. When you innovate or premiumize, it must be an addition, not a subtraction. McDonald's repeatedly sacrifices its greatest competitive edge, being fast and cheap, to chase phantom luxury margins. Second, beware of shifting corporate margins. Shifting 95% of your operational footprint to franchisees might make corporate balance sheets look beautiful to Wall Street, but if it chokes frontline operators, they will mathematically be forced to destroy your relationship with the consumer through desperate price hikes. Finally, algorithms cannot replace a real value proposition. Mobile apps and dynamic menus can mask consumer exhaustion for a few quarters by forcing higher check sizes, but transaction volume is the ultimate lifeblood of retail. You cannot use software to outsmart an overpriced product. McDonald's spent 70 years teaching the world that you could always feed a family fast, simple, and cheap. Then they spent 5 years trying to convince us that a fast food combo is worth $18. The frantic return to $5 value meals is definitive proof that the market will always force them to remember exactly who they are. You can change the tech, upgrade the kiosks, and engineer brilliant financial structures. But at the end of the day, someone still has to buy the burger. So when was the last time you ate at the Golden Arches, and what did a meal actually cost you? Let us know in the comments below, and if you're enjoying this financial autopsy, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next deep dive into corporate strategy. If you've got cash to burn, welcome to the Bagholder Association. And if you'd rather keep yours, subscribe. We'll watch billion-dollar companies burn theirs instead.